Hello and welcome back to the Real Estate Roundup podcast. My name is Kobe Zinn and I am joined here today by my co-host Andres Martinez. How's it going, man?
Going well.
Yeah, glad to hear it. We're getting into kind of what we call within the real estate industry, kind of the event season here towards the end of the year. And in today's episode, I think it's a good opportunity for Andres and I to share a little bit about eXpCON, which is one of the largest, most popular conferences for real estate professionals coming up here in a couple of weeks at the end of October from the 27th through the 30th. And Andres, I know you were at eXpCon last year, so we would love to kind of get some of your feedback and talk a little bit about what's on the books for eXpCon 2024 this year. So I'm really excited to dig into that. But before we do that, man, would you like to share like a little update about kind of what's going on your side? I know things have been picking up a little bit on the new construction side of things as you work with more clients.
As far as the new construction side, what I've been seeing is there's a lot of good deals for clients. Uh, the interest rates did drop, right, 0.5%, but that has given builders the opportunity to even drop their interest rates even lower. I've seen interest rates in 3.75, 4.99. I know they're covering a lot of closing costs. A lot of these homes are at a discounted price because there is some inventory out there. So it's always a great time and a good opportunity for some of these clients that want to live in specific neighborhoods, very nice, affluent neighborhoods, for them to kind of get a great deal and get into a home in a nice community that's actually affordable.
Nice. Yeah, so it's good to hear, the market's picking up. I've been speaking to a couple agents this week, just within our team, and it sounds like it's been a more challenging year earlier, like we have been talking about in this podcast for for this past year as well. But so it's good to hear that things are picking up and there's a little bit more activity as well. So it creates a little bit more excitement as we get into kind of the events coming up here towards the end of the year. So Andres, why don't you talk a little bit about kind of your experience at eXpCon last year? Because it was really one of the biggest eXpCons I think we've had. Might have had the most attendance. So for people who don't understand kind of what these conferences are, we'd love to have you share a little bit about your feedback and your experience there.
So my experience with the eXpCon last year, I got to experience it with my wife. My wife is a realtor. She was under EXP as well, and we got to go to Las Vegas to eXpCon. The one thing that we saw is that we were able to communicate and hang out with other real estate professionals and just share ideas, uh, kind of understand their markets. Uh, and when they ran into certain issues or something that the market shifted, they kind of shared the information on how they were able to overcome that shift. A lot of those shifts trickled down to Texas, and they trickled down a couple of months later after eXpCon because I had communicated with other real estate professionals all across the United States. I was able to kind of navigate that market comfortably because I was reassured that someone had already navigated those waters, and I was able to hit the ground running.
Right. So you got an opportunity, right? And that's what a lot of agents really like about these national conferences is you get an opportunity to talk to other real estate professionals that are located in different markets around the country who maybe have a perspective on what's going on in their market and some of the things like you said that could trickle down as far as market changes, different activities of buyers and sellers, right? That could start happening in one area of the country and then start trickling into your specific market. So you had the opportunity to build those networks, and that's one of the most exciting parts about eXpCon is you get to build those connections, not just with agents within your market, but also nationwide as well. Now, one of the other great benefits of going into a conference like these are the training that you actually get, right? So there's a lot of great speakers. Was there any speakers or trainers or specific sessions from last year that really kind of stood out to you, that you really were able to take that information and then apply it to your business later on?
So, one of the things as everyone was transitioning to AI, it's kind of something that a lot of realtors put on the burner, right? People did not want to use AI. Everyone thought AI was taking our jobs, and we kind of just, hey, we'll deal with it when it gets here. What last year at eXpCON, they focused a lot on AI, and instead of saying, hey, we'll wait when it gets here, they just made everyone aware it's here, guys, and you have to learn how to use it. So they gave everyone the resources, and they let speakers speak on their experience on how AI enhanced their business and how you can use it. Therefore, afterwards, it was not scary to be able to implement AI in my business.
Yeah, so we're getting kind of like in front of the new changes that are happening, right? Last year AI was huge. It still is a little bit this year as well. I think we're from what I'm seeing on the agenda for eXpCon 2024, it looks like AI is going to be a big topic for a lot of the training sessions. Also, we are going to be talking about the NAR settlement changes as well. So as we talked about here before, EXP was one of the leading companies to be able to provide agents with the right tools and resources and documents to better handle the changes with the NAR settlement as they approach clients and offer them their value as a professional, real estate professional as well. So, something like that, right? Do you see, foresee any value for real estate agents to potentially be a part of, a conference that does focus specifically on, especially with the changes happening, some of the best practices moving forward with the NAR settlement?
I think because they do have sometimes they have lawyers or different professionals with the expertise, knowing the ins and outs. So one thing that I know uh, at eXpCon, you had professionals that actually implemented these things. It wasn't someone that was giving you information and let's see if it works. It was like, no, I've implemented this. It works. So as far as the NAR, it would be good to get as much information. Now we have a couple of months, so some people have navigated, right? So now we have people that can share their experience of how they move forward. How have they grown their business? How it's affected their business? And if it affected them, how did they pivot, right? So being a part of these conventions and these educational training, it really helps. But you're in a room with 100, 150 people, and everyone has an open mic to share their experience. And then they're able to tell you how they were able to pivot and navigate through a situation. And it helps prepare you. A lot of times, people have these questions, and we all have questions, and we're just afraid to ask, or we don't know where to gather that information. But when you get in a room with 100 plus people, you find out really quickly that there's a lot of people with the same question.
Yes, and that's good for an agent you know to experience, I think, because you think that you're the only person that's facing some of these issues when in reality it's more of an industry wide issue, right? And you get to see how other agents are approaching this. What are some of the thought processes and mindset behind how you can continue serving your clients while also making sure that you're getting compensated for that effort as well that you're putting in and the value that you're offering. So, there's agents out there, real estate professionals out there who maybe see the value in a big conference like this. They're seeing that, okay, there's a lot of great training, a lot of great speakers, good networking opportunities, but going to a conference like eXpCon can be quite an investment as well, right? There's an investment of travel if you're from out of the state or out of the city, and there's also an investment of just being there for that week as well. So why don't you kind of talk a little bit about that, of the importance of a real estate professional to make those investments into their business and into themselves so that they can continue to grow?
So when I first attended my first CXPCon, I had been in the industry for about 2 years plus. Even though I had found success and I was doing well and I was helping a lot of families, I still in the back of my mind wondered if I belonged. Right? I needed the reassurance. So I invested in eXpCON. I attended the event, and I started communicating with other real estate professionals. I started getting and resources from the top producers at EXP. So they're always going to put up in front of you, they're going to put their top producers, right? And those top producers will share the information that at some point they were you. They were worried, they were scared, but they decided to believe themselves and they pushed forward. So one thing that I learned through eXpCon is in the beginning, I was wondering if I belonged, and at the end of it, I knew I belonged, and I was able to gather resources to help grow my business. The impact it had there afterwards, I was able to accomplish in 4 months what I was accomplishing in 12 months. So it really, really gave me confidence. Uh, it gave me information, and it just reassured to me that I belong in the industry.
Yeah, that's a wonderful testimonial, I think, because a lot of agents, when they see the price points that can add up as far as what the investment is to go to a big conference like that, it can really turn them off or scare them, especially if they're a little bit newer into the industry, right? And they haven't necessarily built up a huge nest egg to invest in their business. But what you're saying is it's definitely worthwhile and it's a good investment for even newer agents, right? All the way up to more experienced agents to attend these conferences like eXpCon so that way they can go and not just get the training, but understand that they can accelerate their success moving forward.
Another thing that they share with me, Kobe, is a lot of times when you're in the industry, a lot of people second guess themselves. Do I need a virtual agent? Am I ready for this? Um, but not understanding by you second guessing yourself, you're actually hindering your business and you're limiting yourself on how many families you could help. Because if you're going to do everything in the transaction, right? The most important thing is to help families and to help people with home ownership, right? And if you're doing all the process, then you could only do but so much. So what they explained to me and different successful top producers were like, hey, at some point, you're going to need yourself a virtual agent and you need to focus on what you're good at. And that's helping people. When I saw it on through that lens, it was a no-brainer that, hey, I needed to make an adjustment.
Right. That's a really good point actually because there is a lot of agents, right? Even veterans of the industry who haven't pulled the trigger, if you will, to hire maybe a transaction coordinator or like you mentioned like a virtual agent or a virtual assistant to help them with, certain parts of their business like marketing or um, you know, transaction coordination or just, email outreach and, you know, filing through their emails as well. But like you said, right, having somebody like that allows you to free up more time to help more people in your expertise, right? So that actually is a good investment because it allows you to do more, which and then creates more revenue for you and your business.
That is correct. And another thing was uh, a lot of people were just expressing the reassurance of like coaching, right? So coaching could be costly, right? But if you're at that threshold where you're uh, at a certain point and you feel you're doing really good, there's another level, right? And sometimes it might take a coach to untap the next level. So a lot of people and a lot of agents were sharing with me, "Hey, Andres, when I was by myself, I did 30 transactions. When I got my coach, I doubled that, right? And yes, it is costly, but if I doubled it, then it was well worth the investment, right? That is something that, um, unless you're in these big conventions or you're around these top producers, that we don't understand how they get to that next level. And they told me, hey, coaching is a part of that next level.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And, you get to experience that firsthand when you're at one of these conventions and pretty much see how all these top producers, like you said, are able to expand and grow their business. So, just kind of wrap up here, want to kind of get your take on just being at eXpCon and kind of the actual feeling and experience. Because there's a lot of people who think that going to a big conference like this, going to eXpCon is, something that's completely just business focused and they're there and they're learning, but they might think of it as, they have to come in with a suit or tie and they have to sit there and it's going to be boring for a week. So if you could touch on a little bit on your experience on whether if that's the truth or whether if this is an experience where you're going there, you're learning, you're networking, you're adding to your repertoire of business, but you're also able to have a little fun and maybe turn it into a mini vacation for that week as well.
So the whole event, to me, it was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I was able to experience it with my wife, and it was eye opening. I was happy that we made that investment, and we were able to build so many connections and relationships. So yes, you do have a schedule, right? Where you have to go to some trainings, right? And you choose what training you want to go to because only you know what's important in your business, right? So you set up your schedule during the day. You go to these specific trainings. You break out for lunch, and when you break out for lunch, instead of me just breaking out with my wife, Kobe and the team, right, the Wolfpack, they had prepared where the top producers and everyone within the team would meet, and then we would all hang out. We would share experiences. Conversations about the NAR popped up, or just ideas started popping up, and it happened organically, right? So it wasn't where you would be shy or you would be scared to ask a question. You were able to communicate. While doing that, you're still enjoying your day, right? Afterwards, we did have some events where we had dinner, and it was more casual. And we practically took over Las Vegas for a couple of days, right? So we did enjoy Vegas, but the value was is even if you were going to Top Golf or even if you were going into a club, people were sharing experiences as we went along. And the thing is, it wasn't a suit and tie. It was more of a, hey, how's business going in your area? Hey, have you tried this? Hey, have you heard about this? And then a lot of that stuff uh, either I had implemented or was wondering if I wanted to implement it, and they just shared their story. But we did have fun. Um, Another thing that as soon as I checked in, one thing I noticed there was people in shorts, there were people in suits and ties, there were people in different attire. Um, Everyone with any personality was welcome to that convention, and uh, there were no differences, right? It was just people were gathering this information and this great training without any bias.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the great part about that. And I had a very similar experience in my first conference as well, where I came in and I believe I actually rushed to change into what I thought was the proper attire for the conference. And then I walked into the lobby and I saw there were about 3 or 4 different people who were wearing shorts and t-shirts. And I saw that everybody was kind of just being themselves, right? So it's not something where you have to pretend to be a different person or, have to fit into a certain mold, if you will, right? You are the best person that you could be as a real estate agent. As we all know in real estate, because of the different niches and the different markets you serve, right? Not everybody's going to come in and wear a suit and tie. And we've talked, I think, on this podcast about a little bit about that as well. If just being yourself, being able to show your authenticity. The same thing happens at these big conferences as well. So yeah, man, I think we had a great discussion today about eXpCon and give everybody a little bit of a preview of what eXpCon 2024 is going to be like. And we are going to have a lot of real estate investment panels as well this year. Something I would like to point out. We are heavily focused on teaching agents the real estate investment side, as well as the traditional production side and social media and AI, as well as keeping up with industry changes. And one of the cool things that we do have this year is if you are looking at EXP, if you are a real estate agent who is licensed at a different brokerage who is not yet with EXP, but you're considering coming over, or if you just want to attend eXpCON as a guest, we are actually able to offer you a free ticket to attend eXpCON. And I do have a free ticket that I'm more than happy to share with you if you are an agent who is not yet at EXP. And just make sure to reach out, and I'll be happy to give you the information on that, and hopefully come over and have a good time. So,
Take advantage of it, guys. It's a really good opportunity. It could be career changing. It could be life changing, right? So take advantage. If it's free, it's a probably a $1,200 value there.
yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that, man, and I appreciate you, Andres, and appreciate you all for tuning in. Make sure to reach out if you want that free ticket or have any questions for us. But hopefully, we see you guys at eXpCon this year, and I thank you for tuning in to the Real Estate Roundup. See you on the next
Take
show.
care, guys.